Chapter 11. Demon Beast Hunting Trial begins. The world was still asleep, shrouded in pre-dawn darkness, when Kong Ming opened his eyes. He lay quietly, staring up at the wooden beams above his bed, his heart tapping a steady rhythm of nerves and excitement. No amount of deep breathing or forceful meditation could lull him back to sleep. He had already tried. With a soft sigh, he sat up and swung his legs over the edge of the bed. A strange lightness coursed through his limbs. His muscles didn't ache, and his breath didn't catch like it usually did in the morning. Strange. He stood, testing his balance, and realized his steps felt smooth, controlled, energized. His brows lifted. Is this the medicine finally kicking in? Not wanting to wake the others, Kong Ming tiptoed outside into the crisp morning air. Mist clung low to the training courtyard. The boulders rested where they always did, like quiet guardians of the Kong brothers' hardship. He eyed the first stone. 50 kilograms, the one he used to fear even glancing at. He rotated his shoulders, performed a few stretches, then approached the boulder. Getting into position, he braced himself and pushed with his legs. The stone lifted off the ground, with no resistance. In the next instant, it hovered above his head. Kong Ming stared at the weight, blinking. "What?" he whispered. He barely felt anything. He gently set it down and stumbled back in disbelief. 2 weeks ago, I feared being crushed by its shadow. Now. His gaze shifted to the second boulder. 150 kilograms. Ming approached cautiously, heart racing. He adjusted his stance, focused his breath, and heaved. A strained grunt escaped him, but the boulder rose, wobbling slightly, but steady in his grip. He lowered it, breath ragged, sweat beading across his forehead. Ha! Ha! A smile broke out across his face. He turned to the third boulder, 300 kilograms. This time, he had no illusions. He crouched, drew in a breath, and pushed with every fiber of strength he could muster. The stone trembled, lifted just slightly from the earth, then dropped with a dull thud. He exhaled sharply, collapsing to one knee. He didn't feel disappointed. He felt alive. This is beyond anything I ever imagined. No technique, no spirit chi, just the foundation. But it's mine. He sat cross-legged and calmed his breath. Closing his eyes, he began to circulate his chi gently, sensing the soft pulse of energy through his meridians. Each level of body tempering opens 3 meridians. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8 open meridians. I'm at the peak of the second level of body tempering, and now that my meridians aren't hurt, the flow of physical qi through them isn't inhibited, and I can utilize strength befitting my cultivation. If I feel this strong only at the second stage of body tempering, how strong would I feel at the 9th? At peak level 9, 36 meridians flow as one, while at peak level 8, it's only 26 meridians. The leap from peak level 8 to peak 9 is a 10 meridian gap. It's not a step, it's a chasm. The sun had begun to crest when Kong Tian emerged from the side hall, topless and barefoot, practicing the first level of profound fist. Each strike echoed with sharp purpose. There was no wasted motion, only focus and momentum. His spirit energy coursed naturally now, awakening subtle sensations deep within his flesh. He felt it stir again, that whisper in his blood, something ancient, familiar, yet unnamed. He had told no one. When the others stirred and the household came alive, the brothers dressed and set off toward the martial school. But they didn't make it far. A group of 6 masked men stepped into the narrow path that led to town, cutting them off. Their movements were sharp, confident, and reeked of bloodlust and killing intent. Their presence radiated, that aura. They're at the spirit apprentice level. Kong Tian's brows furrowed. The one in back is even stronger. I can't see through him. Kong Tian stepped in front of his younger brother instantly. Ming's heart skipped. These guys, they're cultivators. Tian's fists clenched. The lead bandit's voice rasped from behind the mask. Hand over your valuables and your lives. Kong Tian didn't reply. His eyes narrowed. The bandits are pretending to be robbers. Real bandits wouldn't waste time robbing some kids who are practically beggars, Kong Ming thought inwardly. They're most likely hired mercenaries or assassins. Kong Ming was able to analyze the truth behind the matter instantly. Kong Ming laughed. If you're trying to pose as random bandits, you should do a better job. What kind of bandits would waste their time to target a bunch of kids who are practically beggars? Kong Ming's eyes narrowed. Who sent you? The bandits chuckled. Another bandit cracked his knuckles. The younger one thinks he is so clever and has such fragile looks. Think he'll scream if we take a finger? The bandit leader chuckled. Do you really think knowing why you died would make dying any easier? He sneered. Kong Tian shifted his stance. Gu Bi, Ming. His voice was calm. When I move, you run. I'll open a path. Kong Ming immediately shook his head. No! Kong Ming grabbed his sleeve. Tian, don't be stupid. You're outnumbered. Spirit apprentice cultivators, there are 6 of them. Why must you always sacrifice yourself? Kong Tian moved his arm, freeing his sleeve. I said run! Kong Ming hesitated. Brother, we can try running together, or even fighting together. I'm not a cripple anymore. Kong Tian was agitated by Kong Ming's stubbornness. I said no. Staying means we all die. You want that? Gu Bi, wide-eyed, sensed a silent confidence in Kong Tian. He tugged at Ming's arm. We have to go. Master Tian can handle it. I'm not leaving unless... Ming's jaw clenched. Promise me you will run as soon as possible. Promise we will meet in the schoolyard after. Swear it. Tian looked back at his brother. A silent pause passed between them. I swear, he said. Ming turned reluctantly, his fists shaking. Gu Bi pulled him, and the two dashed toward the side woods. 2 bandits moved to pursue. Before they took 2 steps, Kong Tian scooped a rock nearly the size of his torso and hurled it with terrifying speed. It crushed one bandit's head like a melon and slammed into the trunk of the tree, debris showering on the second bandit. Kong Tian didn't have time to process the fact that he killed someone for the first time. Go after the runners, the leader barked, but only one broke off. The others were blocked and forced to face Kong Tian. You'll regret that, boy. Tian rolled his neck. Doubt it. Kong Tian felt strange today. His blood felt hot, like it was on the brink of erupting from inside. They attacked. Kong Tian's senses sharpened. Every punch felt like thunder. His newly formed spirit qi burst through his limbs like wildfire. He dodged the first sword strike and struck the second bandit clean in the chest. Crack-ack! The bandit's collarbone shattered under the force. Steel met flesh. Sparks flew. He took a shallow cut to his ribs, but he twisted low and swept a leg, sweeping another bandit off his feet, causing him to fall sideways. Kong Tian's adrenaline was rushing, his heart racing and his senses reaching a whole new level. Before the bandit could hit the ground, Tian sent a powerful kick, sending him flying toward the rest of the bandits, knocking them down like bowling pins. The leader avoided the flying bandit's body and made a move towards Kong Tian. But in that brief moment of distraction, the boy ran. Damn it! The leader kicked his fallen henchman. In the chaos, he found an opening and sprinted into the woods. Behind him, the remaining bandits shouted curses, but none could match his momentum. Somewhere, in the deepest part of him, something smiled. This was the first time he felt such a rush and danger. Gu Bi and Kong Ming scrambled through the underbrush, breath ragged. Behind them, they heard one bandit's footsteps growing louder. Gu Bi turned. We have to split. No! Ming's eyes were wild. I can fight. No, you can't. We both know that. Just then, a massive crash echoed, the sound of rock against flesh. The footsteps stopped. Ming turned back, pulse pounding. Silence. They waited. Nothing came. He did it, Ming whispered. He actually did it. At the school, the three boys reunited. Cuts on Tian's arms had already begun to clot, but the wound near his rib would need more time to heal. He quickly ate a recovery pill that he obtained from Steward Gu, his chest heaving. Ming ran up and punched his brother's shoulder. "You said you'd leave when there was an opening! Liar!" Tian smirked. That was the opening. Instructor Fang Duan's eyes swept over them. He said nothing, but a shadow crossed his brow. Some students' eyes shifted to the group of brothers. "Isn't that the Kong brothers? They've been missing for weeks. Why is Kong Tian wounded? He looks like he's already been fighting demon beasts." Chuckles can be heard. The brothers sighed and ignored them. "I'm just happy we escaped those bandits," Gubi said in relief. Before long, 200 students gathered. Fang Duan stood atop the stone platform and raised his voice. "The annual demon beast hunt begins now. Listen up, you brats. The one with the highest score will receive a rank 3 spirit weapon of their choice, a spirit-ranked cultivation technique, and 30 rank 9 mortal healing pills. Second place will receive a rank 1 spirit weapon and 5,000 silver coins. Third place will receive 2,000 silver coins and a rank 9 mortal weapon." The students cheered in excitement, and the spectators' eyes were filled with envy. Fang Duan's eyes scanned the students. Any students with points below 21 will be expelled from the martial school. You need 21 points or higher to pass. Kong Ming felt a subtle gaze from Fang Duan after stating those requirements, as if Fang Duan was personally reminding him. The scoring is based on the level of demon core you obtain. Mortal rank. 1 demon beast earns you 1 point. Mortal rank 2 demon beast is 4 points. Rank 3 is 6. Rank 4 is 8. Rank 5 is 10. Rank 6 is 12. Rank 7 is 14. Rank 8 is 16. Rank 9 is 18. If any of you bastards are tired of living and fight a spirit beast, we will reward you with these points for the demon core. Rank 1 spirit beast, 80 points. Rank 2 spirit beast, 300 points. Anything higher will be put under strict investigation before we announce the point value. If your achievements are called into suspicion, you can prove it by defeating a cultivator of the equivalent rank. He listed the rules clearly. Teaming up causes evenly shared points regardless of individual contributions. Do not kill fellow students. You can break your red emergency talisman to request rescue by an exam proctor, but doing so ends your trial as a failure. The exam will last 7 days. Early return ends your participation and you'll be unable to earn more points. External power aids and spirit tools are prohibited. Rank 2 or below, mortal weapons are allowed. Rank 1 mortal weapons are available upon request. The crowd stirred. Each gate leads to an area of iron root forest with different levels of demon beast. Don't be arrogant and wander too deep into the forest and die because you overestimate yourself. We have martial school instructors in the forest as well, but they can't be everywhere. Rely on the teachings and training you've all received, and you will be able to survive. Group A, North Gate. Group B, South. Group C, East. Group D, East. Begin the hunt. Fang Duan whispered into another instructor's ear, then left the hunting grounds. His face was solemn. Kong Tian and Kong Ming were split. Tian placed a hand on Ming's shoulder. "The East is safer. Stay calm. Survive." Ming nodded. "Don't get eaten." Tian grinned. "No promises." They bumped fists and separated. Murmurs erupted immediately as the top 50 students began to move toward the northern gate of Iron Forest, while the rest scattered toward their respective zones. The path to the northern entrance buzzed with energy as the top-ranking students began walking together. Some were calm, others grinning with bloodthirsty excitement. Everyone had something to prove. Fang Zhu, fifth-ranked and arrogant as ever, tossed his spatial pouch into the air and caught it lazily. "So, Does anyone want to admit defeat before we step inside? He called out to no one in particular. Chen Kai, walking a few paces ahead, didn't turn. He said in an aloof manner, "Only those with loud mouths usually have small cores." Fang Zhu smirked. "Funny. I don't remember you coming in first in the last exam either." A student nearby chuckled. "Yeah, but at least he doesn't style his hair like a rooster." "Careful," Fang Zhu said, still smiling. "I hear ugly jokes lower your battle IQ." Farther behind them, Bai Yuyin walked with serene grace, her hand resting casually on the hilt of her sword. Several students stepped out of her way without thinking. One of the younger boys from Group A whispered, "That's Bai Yuyin. She's even prettier than the rumors." "Prettier?" his friend hissed. "She broke someone's arm during warm-ups last week." Not far behind her, Kong Tian moved quietly, expression calm, steps purposeful. While others were flexing or boasting, he said nothing. But that silence drew attention. "Is that him?" someone whispered. "The one who took down spirit apprentice Yuan Jin in a one-on-one?" "That's Kong Tian, yeah," another answered. "Freak strength. I heard he didn't even use a weapon." Bai Yuyin glanced at Kong Tian with a glint of intrigue in her eyes. Fang Zhu snarled, "Hey, I'm glad you were able to arrive safely today." "It seems the heavens favor dark, brooding, pretty boys," Fang Zhu mocked. Kong Tian ignored him and entered the forest. Chen Kai threw a glance his way. High above the forest, Gubi had found a sturdy tree near the edge of the cliffside spectator zone. He dangled his legs from the branch as students vanished into the thick woods below. A familiar voice piped up behind him. "Well, look who survived another week following those crazy brothers." Li Chan folded her arms, standing with her hips cocked to the side. Steward Gu stood silently beside her. Gubi grinned. "Still better odds than stealing stale bread?" She rolled her eyes but smirked. "You realize your friends are going into a spirit beast-infested forest. This isn't a picnic." "Neither was escaping from those bandits," Gubi muttered. Chan raised an eyebrow. "What did you say?" "Nothing," he said quickly. Below, the formations securing the forest shimmered as the groups began to enter. Hours passed. Kong Tian moved like a blade through the trees, striking beasts with fluid precision. Demon cores filled his pouch. No hesitation, no wasted strikes. In another part of the forest, Bai Yuyin danced through combat. Her blade was elegant, her steps thunder. She was now 7th level in body tempering, stronger than ever. Bai Yuyin cut her way through a wave of shadow panthers. Her movements were like water, unhurried, merciless. Every swing of her blade painted elegant arcs of death. In the deeper stretch of the northern woods, Bai Yuyin spotted someone moving between the trees, a slim figure, twin daggers glinting in the light. Suddenly, she saw a girl, slim, swift, dual daggers gleaming. She moved like mist, silent, lethal. Yuyin watched with narrowed eyes as the girl dispatched a horned wolf in 3 heartbeats, vanishing before its body hit the ground. "Impressive," Yuyin said aloud, stepping into view. Naran glanced at her, eyes unreadable. "Likewise." "You weren't ranked very high," Yuyin said carefully. "Yet, you're moving like someone at the 8th level of body tempering." Naran said nothing, only offering a faint smile beneath her half-mask. Then the ground shook. A silver-furred ape crashed through the trees, muscles rippling, fangs bared, a mortal rank 9 beast. The 2 girls didn't speak. They moved, instinctively, side by side, blade and dagger blurred, stepping in and out of the ape's furious strikes. "Why hide your strength?" Yuyin asked between attacks. Naran's answer was a whisper as she spun under a claw. "Because sometimes you survive longer when no one sees you coming." They fought side by side, dagger and sword. But a rank 9 beast is still a rank 9 beast after all. The girls began being pushed back. Naran growled, "What a sturdy armor of muscle." The beast's eyes fell on Bai Yin, but Bai's gaze lingered, unafraid. Bai Yin took a deep breath and began to analyze the situation. From the fight, Bai Yin observed that Naran's cultivation is indeed 8th level body tempering, but her speed resembles that of someone at the peak of the 9th level. My heavy attacks can cut deeper into the rank 9 silver ape's hide, but I have to move less to generate the force to land heavier blows. Doing so would be putting myself in greater danger. Suddenly, the ape lunged toward her, disrupting her thoughts. She quickly rolled to the side to dodge. Naran's soft voice called out, "No!" The ape's lunge was a bait to get Bai Yin to roll into a cornered area. The ape quickly followed up with a fist strike. Bai Yin, trapped and with nowhere to dodge, had no other option but to raise her sword, preparing for impact. Skadoosh! A clashing sound rang out, and a tall, scholarly youth stood in front of Bai Yin. He had long brown hair, tied in a ponytail, and a handsome face. Chen Kai. Bai Yin was startled by his unexpected appearance. Twisted fist technique! Chen Kai released another burst of physical chi from his meridians, sending the rank 9 ape flying back. Silence. The entire area was silent. Naran mumbled, "9th stage body refinement realm." Bai Yin sighed. "I guess I'm really doomed to remain 3rd place." Chen Kai ignored the melancholy expression on Yu Yin's face and asked, "Do you mind if I claim this core for myself?" "Do what you want," she snorted while sheathing her sword. "What are your thoughts?" Chen Kai asked, turning in Naran's direction. Empty. She vanished. Chen Kai was surprised. He didn't even sense her movement. The ape got back on its feet and launched another attack at Chen Kai, and the two began to exchange blows. Elsewhere, Kong Ming crept through the quieter eastern woods. A shriek. A small beast. Rank 2. He stepped forward, trembling. His blade rose. He struck. Clean, but not perfect. I knew what to do. I knew every strike, every weak point, but knowing isn't the same as doing it. His hands wouldn't stop shaking. So this is real combat. Books never prepared me for this. Above, nobles placed bets. But suddenly, Instructor Fang Duan returned. A body dropped at his feet. Bandit gear, bloody, still warm. He let it drop before the elders. This man was found outside the Kong brothers' home this morning. Chatter halted. Several elders paled. The Fang clan head shifted uncomfortably. The Chen elders looked downward. Fang Duan's aura exploded outward like a storm. Some fell to their knees. Others looked away, gasping beneath the pressure. Only the patriarchs, Chen Wei, Bai Huang, and Fang Zhen, remained unmoved, their expressions unreadable. Fang Duan's voice cut through the silence like a blade. "If your hands are clean, then why do they tremble?" Tension rippled across the platform like a gathering storm. He looked across them. "If no one is guilty, why do you all look so terrified?" Silence. Tension. The sun is shining brightly over the area. The hunt had only just begun. Chapter 12. Day 1. 200 hunters, but one survivalist. Spectators' area of the Demon Beast exam. The wind stirred gently atop the wooden pavilion, rustling the leaves of the iron forest. Fang Duan stood alone at the railing, arms folded behind his back, eyes fixed, not on the students scouring the forest below, but on the 3 patriarchs seated just meters away. The Bai clan's patriarch, Bai Hong, sat composed, his fan lazily flicking with each breath. Chen Wei, patriarch of the Chen clan, sipped tea with a calm, too calculated to be genuine. Fang Zhen, patriarch of the Fang clan, sat with his arms crossed, expression unreadable, as though carved from stone. "Quite the turnout today," Fang Duan said finally, his voice cool. "Such interest in a mere student exam that all the patriarchs attended personally." Chen Wei chuckled. Naturally. It's not often we get to see the future of Iron Root measure itself, especially that Kong boy. Fang Duan's jaw tightened, just barely. Indeed. A boy who, strangely, survived a bandit ambush this morning, near the West Road. Fang Zhen raised a brow. An unfortunate coincidence, but I fail to see the relevance. Fang Duan turned fully toward them now. One of the bandits had a tattoo on his left wrist, mark of the Bronze River Syndicate, and more importantly, he was formerly employed at one of our Fang-owned grain depots. Before disappearing 6 months ago. Fang Zhen's brows twitched. Chen Wei exhaled slowly through his nose. A grain depot? That's hardly compelling evidence, head instructor Fang. And yet, Fang Duan's voice sharpened, he disappeared shortly after rumors of succession began circulating in our clan. I suspect it's not a coincidence, but conspiracy. Fang Zhen finally spoke. You overstep. Throwing accusations without proof is unbecoming, even for someone in your station. I speak not to disgrace, Fang Duan replied, voice iron hard, but to warn. My son was nearly killed due to similar schemes. His fist clenched. I will uncover the truth. After this exam, there will be a full investigation. A tense silence settled. The patriarchs said nothing more, but their silence weighed heavier than words. Meanwhile, Easter Iron Root Forest. Kong Ming crouched over the twitching corpse of the small, rank 2 flame-furred fox, its final breath still steaming against the forest floor. His blade, dull from the struggle, dripped with blood as he pulled it free. His nerves finally returned to normal. Instead of chasing more prey, Kong Ming did what few others would. He pulled out a map, a half-burnt compass, and began sketching terrain. His goal wasn't glory. It was survival. Secure water. Set camp near rocky terrain. Avoid beast nests. Preserve stamina. He thought in lists. Lists kept him alive. After another hour of cautious travel, he reached a small clearing, dense trees around him, rocks jutting out like broken bones. He was about to move on when a cry split the air. Help! Ah! He turned sharply. In the distance, a girl fought desperately against a 1-meter-sized grey-furred monkey. Kong Ming's gaze sharpened. It's rank 3 at least. The girl fighting was clumsy, bleeding, and outmatched. Kong Ming narrowed his eyes, then kept walking. Stupid. She is actually trying to defeat it? She's even attacking a rock monkey with her bare fist? Doesn't she know that they have tough stone hides? They're extremely hard to kill. It's a waste of effort when below the 5th stage of body tempering. He shook his head and walked in the opposite direction. Can't risk injury over strangers, he mumbled. Her scream faded behind him as the distance increased. Minutes later, he reached a stream, a medium-sized stream of clear water running through a ravine. He crouched, checked for contamination, and cupped water into his flask. Then he froze. More screaming. Closer this time, and heavier footfalls. You've got to be kidding me. The same girl burst through the foliage, wild-eyed, her robes torn. Behind her, 3 grey-furred stone monkeys now chased her, snarling and flinging stones. Kong Ming hissed through his teeth. You led them here, you idiot! He turned to run and stopped. The stream ahead curved sharply and vanished. A waterfall. He looked back. The monkeys were close. The girl spotted him. Please, help! Shit! He grabbed her wrist. Come on, don't stop! They sprinted toward the falls. Kong Ming's mind raced. At the edge, just before the drop, he yanked her sideways, through a curtain of ivy-covered stone. A narrow ledge behind the waterfall, just wide enough to crouch. Water thundered just inches from their faces, masking their scent, their breathing, their panic. The monkeys reached the edge. They howled, scanned, they jumped up and down in confusion, scanning the bottom of the falls. They think we jumped? 10 minutes passed in silence. Finally, Kong Ming exhaled. Next time, he muttered, Try not to bring a damn horde with you. Meanwhile, northern iron forest, midday. The corpse of the rank 9. Silver Ape lay sprawled beneath Chenkai's boots, blood seeping into the mossy dirt. Its silver fur shimmered faintly under the afternoon light, steam still curling off the 3-meter muscular frame. Chenkai stood motionless, eyes sharp, expression unreadable. The fight had cost him a torn sleeve, a shallow gash along his collarbone, but it was a small price. He barely felt the sting. He crouched and plunged his gloved hand into the ape's chest, prying loose a small, glowing inner core. He held it between 2 fingers, studying its pulsing energy. A perfect kill, alone, as it should be. He barely had time to open his pouch and put away the core when he heard it. Twigs cracking behind him, his fist tightened, and physical ki and blood rising. "Who's there?" he snapped. From the trees emerged a girl, graceful and composed despite the terrain. Red hair to her shoulders, sharp crimson eyes, and a small black beauty mark below her left cheek made her immediately recognizable, Chen Yue, daughter of Chen Wei and 6th ranked in the totem exam. Her presence alone could silence most rooms, but Chen Kai didn't even blink. "It's just you," he muttered, voice clipped with annoyance. He turned back to the ape without so much as a nod. Chen Yue approached, her expression unreadable. "You handled the silver ape by yourself?" He didn't answer, wiping blood off his robe with deliberate calm. "You're stronger than before." Still no reply. "You broke through, didn't you?" That, at least, earned her a glance. "9th stage. Body tempering," he said coldly. 12 years old. Funny, isn't it? No one seems to be celebrating. She opened her mouth, but he cut her off. "Why are you really here?" Chen Yue hesitated. Her eyes flicked toward the eastern ridge. "Stay away from the eastern ridge during the exam." "That's all I came to say." Chen Kai's gaze sharpened. "Why?" She didn't answer. "Humph." He turned away, voice low and venomous. "Let me guess. Another plan, another disgraceful scheme, something father and the elders cooked up in secret, hoping I wouldn't notice." He paced a few steps, then stopped, voice rising. "Do they really think so little of me? That they need to sabotage an outsider with no background or support just to make me shine brighter?" Chen Yue looked away. Chen Kai scoffed. "That boy, Kong Tian, he's not even a real threat to them. But he is the perfect opportunity for me to prove that I'm the greatest genius that has ever come out of Iron Root Town. But instead of letting me deal with him on the field, they smear him with bandits and traps and schemes." Chen Yue quickly shook her head. "The bandits weren't our doing." Chen Kai laughed in disdain. "Oh, so it's a coincidence that Kong Tian showed up to the exam with sword-shaped cuts on the day of the exam. Bandits, assassins, and schemes are tactics of the weak that try to suppress those of true merit. I'm well aware of the cowardly tactics of our elders of the Chen clan. Cousin, you too have some minor talent, but you possess a similar weak will to those elders have. Sickening." He looked back at her now, eyes glinting, not with anger, but something colder. Contempt. "Tell 'em this. I don't need their pathetic schemes. I'll win this exam because I'm better, not because they cleared the road." He stepped past her, his voice dropping low as he left. "They'd do well to remember that. I'm not their puppet. I'm their only hope for true supremacy." He disappeared into the trees, leaving Chen Yue alone, her expression shaken by something she hadn't expected, a tremor of shame. Meanwhile, across the stream in northern Iron Root Forest, late afternoon. Sunlight filtered through the dense canopy in fractured beams, casting golden lines across the forest floor. A black-robed youth sat beneath the shade of a mossy boulder, breathing slowly even. His long hair was slightly damp with sweat, but his expression remained calm as stone. Kong Tian looked down at the small pile of demon beast cores spread out across a cloth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 10. He allowed a small breath of satisfaction. 10 high-rank beast cores, not even counting the lower-tier ones still stuffed in his pouch. That alone should have earned him a solid lead. His fingers brushed absently over a gash near his rib, hidden beneath the folds of his robe. It was shallow, but angry red from earlier that morning. A faint wince tugged at his face. Sword wound. That bandit moved well for a rogue cultivator. He pulled his hand away, frowning slightly. Why did it feel exhilarating? His mind drifted. The scent of blood, the chaos, the way his senses had sharpened, not in fear, but in something closer to joy. His uncle's voice echoed in memory. Tian, your bloodline may stay quiet now, but once you begin to absorb spiritual energy, you'll feel it. The hunger, the clarity. Don't run from it. Am I really starting to feel it already? His thoughts were interrupted by the sound of rustling foliage. A figure stumbled into the clearing from the north trail, shorter, leaner, wearing the Fang clan's dark blue inner robes. Fang Zhu, 5th place in the totem exam, not strong enough to lead, but loud enough to scheme. The moment he laid eyes on Kong Tian, his footsteps faltered. A drop of sweat slid down his temple despite the shade. Why's he here? Alone? Did he find out? Kong Tian didn't even rise. He looked at Fang Zhu with a passing glance, the kind reserved for stray insects, not threats. Then he stood up, turned his back, and walked past him without a word. Fang Zhu's pride screamed in silence. You think you're better than everyone just because you're strong? He blurted. Kong Tian didn't stop. Fine, walk away. But, just so you know, I'll win Bai Yuyin over. You'll see. That finally made Kong Tian pause. He turned his head, brows slightly furrowed, not in anger, but confusion. Bai Yuyin, you know Lady Bai of the Bai clan, our classmate? Kong Tian looked genuinely lost. Never heard of her. Then he turned and walked off again, leaving silence in his wake. Behind a nearby tree, hidden by a veil of silk, Bai Yuyin stood frozen. Her hand rested lightly on the hilt of her sword, her back straight, her gaze fixed on the retreating figure. She hadn't meant to spy, not really. She had been scouting, and when she sensed Kong Tian nearby, something made her pause. Curiosity, maybe, or something quieter. Now she stood in place, her thoughts louder than the wind. He doesn't even know who I am? It wasn't vanity that made the words sting. It was the expectation of recognition. She was a top-ranked student, a prodigy of the Bai clan, known for her precision, her poise, her rare beauty. People remembered her even when she wished they wouldn't, and yet he hadn't even heard her name. Her jaw tightened. We shared classes. We've stood shoulder to shoulder in every exam. I even... She shook her head, eyes narrowing. Besides his sickly brother, he only remembers people he's fought, or those stronger than him. That realization didn't offend her. No, what offended her was that it made sense. Kong Tian lived in a world shaped by strength, where names meant nothing unless tied to danger or challenge. What kind of person lives like that? What kind of heart beats without curiosity or care? And yet she couldn't look away. The detachment in his voice, the effortless way he dismissed Fang Zhu, that brutal honesty, it didn't feel cruel. It felt absolute. And in that strange, cold certainty, there was something that pulled at her. Fang Zhu turned to walk away, red-faced and breathing heavily. But as he did, Bai Yuyin stepped out from behind the tree. Slap! Her hand cracked across his cheek like a whip. Birds scattered from the branches above. Fang Zhu clutched his face, shocked. You idiot, she said, voice cold and precise. Don't ever use my name like that again. He opened his mouth, but her glare silenced him. "You've embarrassed yourself enough for one lifetime. And even felt the need to embarrass me as well?" She walked past him without a second glance. Her steps were calm, but her heart beat just a little faster. And far ahead, hidden by the trees, the one who had forgotten her name left no trace behind, except a question she didn't want to ask. Why do I want him to remember me now? Meanwhile, at the spectators' camp, the sun dipped low on the horizon, casting the iron root forest in streaks of gold and blood-red shadow. The spectator camp bustled with subdued energy, officials and elders whispering, runners delivering tallies, lanterns flickering to life around the luxurious tents set up for Iron Root's elite. Inside one of the largest tents, a layer of silence hung thick. Steward Gu entered without ceremony. Though outwardly calm, his usually smiling face was taut with tension. In his gloved hand, he held a small ancient talisman, its worn jade surface pulsing faintly with a sickly, reddish glow. Lady Chan Chan, seated cross-legged on a silk cushion, opened her eyes as he approached. For once, her playful expression had vanished. "That talisman. It responded?" she asked, her voice low, careful. Steward Gu nodded. "There's no doubt any more, young miss. The thing we've been searching for is here, somewhere in the Iron Forest." Lady Chan Chan blinked, a flicker of excitement rising in her chest, but it was quickly swallowed by unease. "Are you certain?" Gu held out the talisman, letting it float in the air between them. It pulsed again, faint but unmistakable. "It's responding to a particular frequency of beast aura. Ancient, dormant, but undeniably powerful." Lady Chan Chan stood slowly. The firelight painted her elegant face in shifting hues. For once, she looked her age, not a mysterious young girl playing schoolgirl, but a daughter of a greater clan, sent here with a hidden purpose. "So, it's been under our noses all this time," she murmured. "But how has this backwater town stayed untouched?" Gu hesitated. "Perhaps it's been hibernating. That's the only explanation. And if it wakes, then every spirit beast in the region will flee. Or go mad. This forest will become a graveyard." A beat of silence passed between them. Lady Chan Chan crossed her arms and looked toward the forest's darkened horizon. Dozens of children ran through those trees, unaware of the ancient force sleeping beneath their feet. "We'll wait. Watch the key tides carefully. If it stirs again, we seal the area immediately." Steward Gu nodded grimly. "Yes, young miss, but if it fully awakens before the exam ends, then we'll have no choice but to intervene, regardless of who sees." Nearby, at the Fang clan's tent, in a neighboring pavilion lined with the Fang clan's blue banners, voices whispered behind tightly drawn curtains. Fang Zhen, current patriarch of the Fang clan, stood with arms folded, his brows furrowed. A few trusted elders sat beside him, their expressions equally tight. "Ju's little stunt nearly exposed everything," one of them muttered. Fang Zhen exhaled sharply. "I knew about the plan. We all did. But I assumed the boy had sense. He should have hired real killers, discreet, not half-drunk amateurs waving cleavers in broad daylight." Another elder snorted. "And now Fang Duan smells blood again. He already suspects us for the cloud-seeking sect's exam incident 2 years ago. This time, he might act." Fang Zhen's face darkened. "Fang Duan is a problem. He's always been a problem. He was the martial genius of our generation," an older man said quietly. "And unlike the rest of us, he hasn't slowed." Another elder added, "If he confronts us directly, even with Grand Elder Liu's help, the outcome isn't guaranteed." Fang Zhen clenched his jaw. "We can't afford a civil fracture. Not yet. Not with outsiders watching." A moment passed. "Fine," he said at last. Keep Ju out of sight. No more whispers. No more bandits. If anyone asks, he was never involved. The tent fell into uneasy silence. If Fang Duan moves, we prepare. But we don't strike unless cornered. They nodded, reluctant, fearful, and very aware that one wrong move could tear their clan apart from within. Meanwhile, eastern iron root forest in a hidden cave behind the waterfall. The cave was wide enough for 2 people, but it was dry and defensible. Its entrance was hidden by the curtain of roaring water just outside. Kong Ming had even checked for claw marks and animal scent trails. The mysterious girl sat by the fire, sneaking a glance at this strange boy with silver eyes. He carried a sense of profundity. Kong Ming sat down after one last inspection of the cave. It's safe for now. A small fire crackled in the center, casting flickering shadows across the rough stone walls. Kong Ming sat with his back to the far wall, legs crossed, arms folded, watching the flames dance. The girl sat opposite him, hugging her knees. They hadn't spoken much since the escape. He glanced at her again. She was still here. She had big blue eyes and dark brown hair in a bowl cut, styled bangs that parted at the forehead. She had a harmless, innocent aura about her. "Why are you even still here?" he asked, breaking the silence. She shook her head. "I'm not sure and have nowhere else to go, and it's dark and scary out there." Kong Ming sighed. "Why is someone like this even taking the exam?" Kong Ming grew up with only his brother and Uncle Lao. He only warmed up to Gu Bi recently, mainly because they're similar. The townsfolk treated them like a disease, unseen or unwanted. Only Kong Tian ever extended kindness toward others, despite the pain they'd suffered. Kong Ming had learned a different lesson. Trust no one, especially not strangers who smiled too easily. The closer people tried to come, the more he pushed them away, because closeness invited pain. And yet, here she was. She reached into her pouch and pulled out a small, cracked piece of dried bread. Wordlessly, she broke it in 2 and held out half toward him. Kong Ming didn't move. He kept his gaze fixed on the fire, willing her hand to lower it. His stomach growled, loudly. The girl tried not to smile. "Thanks," she said quietly, breaking the silence. "For saving me." He snorted. "I didn't save you. I saved myself." She blinked. "You running around screaming would have drawn more of those damn monkeys. I just didn't want to deal with that." She didn't argue, just nodded slightly and took a bite of her half. A few more seconds passed before he reached out and took the bread. "Xing Kai," she said softly. "3rd level body tempering. I'm 12. He chewed slowly, swallowed, then replied without looking at her. "Kong Ming, 2nd level, same age." Another pause. The fire popped. "Are you planning to keep tagging along?" he asked. Xing Chai stayed quiet. "Tish, I get the feeling you're the type to stay even if I tell you to go." A sigh escaped him. "Fine, but at least make yourself useful." She looked up. He didn't face her, eyes still on the flames. "Useless people," he said quietly. "Don't just waste space. They hurt the ones who care about them. They drag others down without even realizing it." He flicked a glowing ember, voice steady but low. "They freeze up when it matters." His grip on the stick tightened. "They get protected when they should be fighting, shielded when they should be shielding, and then someone better, someone stronger, pays the price." A flicker of heat passed through his expression, too soft to be called rage, too hollow to be called grief. "And the worst part? They don't even mean to do it. They're not evil, just weak, useless. The useless are the blameless assassins of the capable." The fire crackled in the silence. Kong Ming's gaze stayed locked on the flames, as if he couldn't bear to look anywhere else. "If you don't want to be that kind of person, then don't wait for someone to save you. Earn your place, pull your weight, or leave." His voice dropped even lower. Because once someone you love dies because of your inability, you don't ever stop carrying it. A silence fell. Xing-Chai fiddled with her hands quietly, contemplating Kong Ming's words. The fire hissed as a drop of condensation from the cave ceiling struck the coals. And in the glow of the flame, his eyes flickered, just for a moment, as if he saw something not there. A pair of hands, rough, calloused, trembling, pushing him behind a stone wall, blood on the floor. A blurred figure standing between him and danger, until that figure eventually turns to dust. Gone, just like that. Kong Ming blinked, and the image vanished. He exhaled through his nose, slow and shaky. His voice returned to its usual guarded tone. Get some sleep. We move at dawn. Thank you for listening. If you're re-enjoying this series, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel to not miss when I upload the next chapters. To those who want to read ahead, follow my journey on Royal Road. Chapter 13. Day 2. The Chen Clan's Trap. Iron Root Forest, Eastern Area. The sky begins to shift as the crescent of the sun hits the horizon. Kong Ming wakes up at dawn, like a machine. He looks across the cave and notices the girl sleeping peacefully there. He picks up his spatial pouch and proceeds to leave the cave. As he approached the flowing water, he opened his flask. Splash! His sleeves were soaked as he began to drink the water. He began his morning routine exercises, still adjusting to his improved physique. The frail legs are no longer sickly, but emit slight traces of muscle. His arms no longer appear fragile, but rather resemble those of a skinny youth. After his morning workout and breathing exercises, he sharpened his focus for the day. Do you start every day like that? A voice came from behind, as if it were waiting for him to finish. It was Xing-Chai. She approached him and ran her hands through the waterfall. She cupped her hands to catch the water and used it to wash her face. I'm going to show you I'm not useless, she said, with sudden determination. Kong Ming shook his head. Prove it to yourself first. The two began walking across the ledge behind the waterfall. They jumped, barely making it back on stable land. Kong Ming smiled wryly. That cave is difficult for predators to enter, but it's actually difficult to leave as well, he thought inwardly. Kong Ming turned to Xing-Chai. I'm not very strong, so teaming up with me won't yield you much benefits. She nodded her head. That's all right. I don't feel like you're a bad person. Kong Ming frowned. She's really not going to let me go, he thought inwardly. How would you know if I'm good? You just met me. Kong Ming sat down and opened a map of the Iron Root Forest. Xing-Chai looked at the map with curiosity. How did you get this map? The school didn't let any of us borrow the official maps for the exam. Kong Ming raised his chin in pride. I memorized it and drew the map based on my memory. To make an effective strategy, I have to know what tools and resources I have available. And since you're now part of my team, I hope you don't plan on being useless. He gazed at Xing-Chai with mild annoyance. Can you tell me what your strengths are? She nodded. Well, I'm actually best at using my leg martial art. She demonstrated some fast kicks, and I also have fast kicks and good stamina. But my main specialty is this. She randomly started scanning the area. Then she grabbed a pointed stick and began drawing marks in the ground. Xing-Chai frantically ran around the area, making markings with her stick. Hua Long! Kong Ming's eyes widened. A spherical barrier appeared around them. The markings glowed. It was resonating with the energy of heaven and earth. Kong Ming glanced at Xing-Chai in disbelief. You know how to make formations? She nodded shyly. This is the first time Kong Ming's gaze contained an emotion, besides annoyance. Until now, Kong Ming's silver eyes always contained a glimmer of annoyance, but his demeanor now had a trace of respect. The barrier slowly faded. I only know basic formations, but if I'm given time, I can prepare stronger ones. Kongming clenched his fist. This improves our chances of survival. My stamina isn't the best, so it's too risky to defeat the demon beast directly. But I've read plenty of books about demon beasts and know a lot of their weaknesses and behavioral habits. Xingchai nodded. Should we go to find some beast to hunt? Why would we do that? Kongming made a weird expression. Make your breath become the battlefield, so all within will dance to your will. Xingchai tilted her head in confusion. Kongming smiled wryly. How is this girl a formation prodigy? He thought inwardly. It's simple. We should bring demon beasts to us, control a terrain that favors us. A defensive strategy is where formations thrive the most. We should prepare a trap and formation, making it hard for them to press any advantage. If done right, we can earn over 30 points without taking too many risks. There's an azure rabbit demon beast nest close by. I'm going to count on you to lower the rabbits. I'll set the trap using their weakness. Kongming opened his bag and tilted it in front of Xingchai. He revealed a bunch of berries in his bag. Xingchai picked a berry with her hand. Are they poisonous? Kongming shook his head. They're azure moon berries. Only poisonous to certain types of demon beast. I read that the azure rabbits will die in 15 seconds after consumption. But what's most important is the smell that attracts them. Most rabbits are rank 1, but some will be rank 2, and if we're unlucky, Kongming's face turned solemn. Our plan might attract its natural predator, a rank 5 raven panda. I will rely on you to set a basic illusion formation around the area to prevent other demon beasts from interrupting our plan. Xingchai's eyes widened. Brother Ming is truly wise. Kongming began prepping the area and placing berries. If we're working together, we will need to kill about 42 rabbits. I already killed a rank 2 fox. I will need about 18 points to pass. I'm not interested in becoming a top scorer, as long as I can avoid dying or getting kicked out of Ironroot Martial School. That would be enough. One more thing. Xingchai turned to look at Kongming. Make sure not to scream like last time. It will attract more demon beasts. Xingchai turned red from embarrassment. Kongming handed Xingchai a cloth covered with the fragrance of berries. Once the formations are ready, follow the path until you see a moss-covered boulder. Turn left, and the nest should be 500 steps east. Do you understand the plan? Xingchai nodded. Her eyes glimmered with confidence. Good. Let's move. Meanwhile, in northern Ironroot Forest, a group of masked men can be seen running through the forest. What's strange is that the men weren't traveling alone, but on top of spirit demon beasts. One of the men pointed ahead. Captain, we're approaching the eastern ridge of the forest. The burly masked man in the lead shook his head. Very good. Get things set up here before we set the bait. Do you have any information on the Kong brothers' location? The leader asked. A masked man reported cupping his hands. Kong Tian has been located, but the younger one hasn't. Damn it! The leader bellowed. We don't have more time to look for the younger one. The longer we are in the forest, the higher the chance we have of being caught during this mission. Head Instructor Fang is already on the warpath, due to someone sending bandits in broad daylight. We need to be extra careful. No witnesses, no evidence. Understand? Yes, Senior. The masked men all cupped their hands respectfully. One masked man stepped forward. If we can't find the younger brother, how are we going to get Kong Tian to the eastern ridge? Bushes began to rustle. Leave getting Kong Tian to the eastern ridge to me. A young, beautiful woman approached the group of masked men. She had red hair with a beauty mark on her cheek. Her elegant robes flowed in the wind. Young Lady Chen. The group of men immediately bowed on one knee. She nodded. Have all the preparations been made? The leader of the group nodded. Yes, if everything goes according to plan, it should look like a random death caused by hunting a demon beast. Accidents happen all the time while hunting demon beasts. Chen Yue smiled. Did you take care of the instructors in the area? Yeah, they all have been led away from here using our Chen family's young disciples as distractions. She nodded in approval. I'll get Kong Tian to show. Make sure you guys are in position. The wind began to pick up. The rustle of leaves drowned the noise of birds in the forest. Somewhere in the northern section of Ironroot Forest, there are faint sounds of fighting. Howl! A black-clothed, black-hair youth can be seen fighting a large yin bear. The bear stood an imposing 3 meters tall with claws that could slash even the heavens. Kong Tian seemed at a slight disadvantage. The bear wasn't able to do harm to Kong Tian, but his fist technique wasn't able to damage the bear through its thick hide. I should have studied weapon art before this test, Kong Tian thought inwardly. The bear stood opposite him, cautiously observing Kong Tian's next move. This bear is at the peak of mortal rank 9, and I'm struggling with my spirit apprentice cultivation. Wait, spirit apprentice? Kong Tian had a revelation. He wasn't even using his spiritual ki effectively. He unclenched his fist into an open palm. He began circulating the spirit ki in his dantian through the meridians in his arm. The spiritual energy began to concentrate in his hand, increasing his power. With Kong Tian's palm coated in spiritual energy, he charged again towards the yin bear. The yin bear was fearless as it moved to slash Kong Tian into pieces. He noticed that the black-clothed youth had disappeared. In the sky, Kong Tian struck down using a chopping motion, with his hand enhanced with spiritual qi. His hand was as sharp as a blade. Kong Tian's hand split the bear in two, cutting it in half. Kong Tian's face remained cold and indifferent as the blood sprayed from the bear's wound as its lifeless corpse collapsed. Why won't the feeling from before return? Kong Tian pondered. I fought dozens of demon beasts, but none of those encounters made my blood boil like the fight with those bandits. Do I have to find a spirit beast to push my limits? Most spirit-level demon beasts are deeper in the forest, past the area designated for the exam. Snap! Snap! There were sounds of several twigs snapping in the distance. Kong Tian turned his head in the direction of the noise. He didn't call out. He simply waited for the approacher to reveal themselves. He slowly began circulating his spiritual ki to take action at a moment's notice. The silhouette began to form. It was the form of a curvy woman. The rumors of Brother Kong's prowess is well deserved, the woman said with an alluring expression. Kong Tian's eyes narrowed. I've seen this woman before somewhere. The woman gave a polite bow. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Chen Yue. I'm the young miss of the Chen clan, daughter of Chen Wei. Kong Tian's expression remained unchanged. Has he never heard of me? She thought inwardly. Chen Yue is used to getting a reaction from people after revealing her background, but this dark reaper in front of her seems like a transient being, unfettered from worldly affairs. Can I help you with something? Kong Tian said in a neither warm nor cold tone. She smiled wryly. Whether it's this brat or Kai, both of them have rice for brains. What kind of man uses such a tone with a beauty like me present? She composed herself. She said, feigning concern. You didn't hear? There's been an accident. Several students from Group D were injured or killed by a spirit beast in the eastern area. There are usually never beasts of that level in the eastern woods, but it must have wandered out of its territory. Isn't your brother in Group D? I heard he was seen in the eastern ridge area, but it doesn't look good. I was making my way to inform the instructors, but I thought I should tell you. It is not likely the instructors will— Whoosh! A black blur ran past her before she could even finish her sentence. Chen Yue smiled. That cripple is really all he cares about. She looked at Kong Tian's parting figure and sneered. We can't have some random brat interrupting the plans of the Chen clan. Several hours later, as the sky began to turn crimson, ready to set on another long day. Krakak, krakak. A red light lit up the sky like a crimson fairy departing from the earth. Another brat is requesting a rescue. A tall, muscular man sat on a cliff overlooking the forest. He sighed. That's the 15th rescue today, and it's only day 2. Head instructor, Fang. An instructor approached, cupping his fist. What is it now? The instructor explained. We've received reports of strange activity from the demon beast in Ironroot Forest. Senior Fang's eyes narrowed. Strange? When did you begin to notice this strange behavior? The guy looked at his scroll. Around this morning, mainly in the southeast region. Send some more instructors to watch the students in that area and investigate. We shouldn't cancel the annual hunt unless it's serious. If it's a spirit beast territory dispute or a spirit warrior beast making a move, I'll step in. Let the exam continue as planned. Elsewhere, a waterfall in the distance can be spotted. Faint sounds of water splashing can be heard, and a beautiful young lady can be seen washing her legs in her underclothes. She winced. The lady can be seen making a slight grimace as she washes the blood from a wound on her leg. She's injured. Big sis, are you okay? A concerned voice can be heard. It was a short girl in a green and white martial dress. The young lady finished wrapping her legs while sitting on a rock near the waterfall. I'll be fine. We already have enough points to stay in the academy, so let's head back. The short girl nodded. Returning on our own allows us to keep the points we earned. It's much better than staying out here injured and getting disqualified for needing someone to rescue us. Most demon beasts in the southern part of the Ironroot Forest are mortal rank 3 to mortal rank 6. Why in the 7 heavens was there a twin-fanged iron wolf? Rank 8 demon beasts and higher usually form nests in the Northern Territory. The heavens are truly unjust. The short girl sighed. The tall young lady began to walk with clear signs of discomfort on her face. Big sis, you're clearly not fit to walk. Let's find a place to rest for the night, and we can head back to the entrance in the morning, the short woman said. Concern is clear in her eyes. The tall young lady nodded, and they traveled to a nearby cave. Sit here, big sis. I'll go in and make sure the cave is safe. Be careful. The tall girl grabbed her arm as she reminded her companion. The cave was dark with a faint trace of wind within. Along the jagged areas of the cavern, a faint blue glowing moss and mushrooms illuminated the inner walls. The girl's eyes widened as she saw the appearance of a creature. It was too dark to see clearly, but the glowing silver stripes on its fur glowed, showing its presence in the cave. Suddenly, a light beneath her feet glowed. Ah! The sound of her friends screaming startled the girl waiting outside the cave, but when he glanced in the cave, there was no one there. She vanished. Ironroot Forest Eastern Ridge. The trees rustled as a chilly wind crept through the forest, announcing the departure of the sun. Whoosh! A black-clothed youth with eyes like the abyss in the night sky quickly approached the rocky gorge of the eastern ridge. He noticed a black shirt covered in blood in the valley and quickly descended from the cliff. A slight panic was in his eyes as he approached the black robe on the ground that resembled his brother's. After reaching the black robe, Kong Tian picked it up and examined it closely. This isn't Minga's robe. It's a trap.